When a woman doesn't value you, it's one of the hardest truths a man can face. Because at first, it doesn't happen suddenly. It's quiet, subtle, almost invisible. You don't wake up one day and realize she stopped caring. It happens slowly through small moments that build up over time. The tone of her voice changes. The excitement in her eyes fades when you walk in. The conversations become shorter. The laughter becomes rare. You start to notice she's there, but not present. She listens, but doesn't really hear you. She smiles, but not the way she used to. And deep down, you know something has shifted. You can feel it in the silence, in the distance, in the way she no longer looks at you like you matter. The truth is, nothing cuts deeper than giving your love, your time, your loyalty, and realizing it's being taken for granted. When a woman stops valuing you, it's not just about her actions, it's about what those actions do to your spirit. You begin to question yourself. You wonder if you did something wrong, if you changed, if you became boring, too predictable, too available. You try harder to please her, to fix things, to remind her of what you once were. But the harder you try, the less she seems to notice. Because the problem isn't your effort, it's her perception. She no longer sees your value because she's grown used to your presence. See, that's the cruel part about human nature. We start to take for granted what feels constant. And when you've always been there, always cared, always forgiven, she starts believing you'll always be there, no matter how little she gives in return. She begins to assume your patience is permanent. Your loyalty becomes invisible. Your love becomes expected, not appreciated. And that's when the balance breaks. Because love cannot survive where gratitude dies. You can feel it when a woman stops valuing you. She stops trying. She stops checking in. She no longer cares if you're happy, if you're tired, if you're okay. She starts to treat your presence like a habit, not a choice. And that's when the pain really begins, not because she's gone, but because she's still there, just emotionally distant. It's like living with a ghost of who she used to be. But here's the truth most men don't realize. When a woman doesn't value you, it's not about what she does, it's about what you allow. Because every time you excuse her disrespect, every time you accept her indifference, every time you lower your standards for the sake of love, you're teaching her how to treat you. You're showing her that your boundaries are flexible, that your worth depends on her validation. And once that happens, it becomes very easy for her to stop appreciating you because people rarely value what they don't have to earn. When she knows you'll stay no matter how she acts, she stops putting in effort. When she knows your forgiveness comes easily, she stops feeling remorse. When she knows your love has no limits, she stops fearing its loss. And that's where men lose themselves, in trying to prove their love to someone who's already stopped noticing it. It hurts deeply because, for most men, love is action. You show it through protection, loyalty, consistency. You give your time, your strength, your care. But when all of that is met with indifference, it starts to chip away at your confidence. You begin to feel like you're not enough. You start to question your worth when in reality, it's not that you weren't enough. It's that she stopped seeing what was in front of her. A woman's lack of value for you doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means she's blind to your worth. And sometimes that blindness only clears when you walk away, because absence speaks louder than presence ever could. The moment you step back, not out of anger, but out of self-respect, that's when she'll start to feel what she's lost. That's when the silence becomes heavy, the conversations she ignored start to echo, and the comfort she took for granted starts to hurt. Because here's what really hurts a woman the most when she doesn't value you. It's not your anger, not your arguments, not your words. It's your absence. It's when you finally stop showing up. It's when she wakes up one day and realizes you're no longer available to fix what she broke. That you've moved from trying to prove your worth to simply protecting your peace. That's when it hits her, not when you're begging for attention, but when you're too calm to care. You see, your silence is powerful. It's not about playing games. It's about showing her the weight of your presence. Because as long as you keep giving, she'll keep taking. But the moment you stop, the moment you redirect that love toward yourself, she'll feel the difference. She'll realize the warmth she dismissed wasn't ordinary. The loyalty she overlooked wasn't common. The attention she ignored wasn't replaceable. And it always happens the same way. At first, she thinks she's fine without you. She convinces herself she needed space, that she was right to pull away. But then, time passes. The new faces she meets don't feel the same. The conversations don't flow as easily. The connection doesn't come as naturally. Because no matter how much she tries to move on, there's a part of her that starts to remember. The way you cared, the way you made her feel seen, the way you stayed when no one else did, and that's when the regret begins. But by then you've changed. You've learned. You've grown into a man who understands that your value doesn't decrease just because someone failed to see it. You've realized that love shouldn't cost your self-respect. That sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing peace over pain. Because a woman who truly values you will never put you in a position where you have to beg to be seen. She'll match your energy, reciprocate your effort, and appreciate your consistency. It's not wrong to love deeply, but it is dangerous to love blindly. When you give too much to someone who gives too little, you start to forget your own worth. You start to believe that love means sacrifice when in truth, love should feel mutual. Real love doesn't drain you. It nourishes you. It brings peace, not confusion. It gives you energy, not exhaustion. So if she doesn't value you, let her go. Not to hurt her, but to heal yourself. Let her see what life feels like without your loyalty, without your care, without your quiet strength. Let her understand that your love was a gift, not a guarantee. Because sometimes people need to lose access to your energy to understand its value. And if she ever realizes her mistake and comes back, you'll know what to do. You won't be the same man who tolerated being taken for granted. You'll be the man who learned that love without respect is empty, and that peace is worth more than validation. Because here's the thing, when a woman doesn't value you, she may feel powerful for a while. But when she finally realizes what she's lost, that power turns into pain. It hurts her the most when she sees you no longer waiting, no longer chasing, no longer explaining. It hurts when she realizes you stopped caring, not because you stopped loving her, but because you started loving yourself. And that's the moment the balance shifts. That's when she sees what she couldn't before. The quiet strength in your absence, the dignity in your silence, the value she once ignored. And by then, she'll understand the truth. She didn't lose a man who wasn't enough. She lost a man who gave her more than she ever deserved. And that's what hurts a woman the most. The echo of memories is a strange thing. It lingers even when the person is gone. You can move on with your life, meet new people, build new habits, and yet something small, a scent, a sound, a song, pulls you right back to that moment, to that person who once felt like home. You see, memories are not just thoughts, they are emotions frozen in time. They carry the warmth of laughter, the sting of words, the silence that spoke more than anything ever could. And sometimes when a woman loses a man she once took for granted, that echo becomes unbearable. It's not the man she misses first, it's the feeling she had when he was around. The feeling of being understood, protected, and quietly adored. But she doesn't realize the value of those moments until they're gone, until the echo becomes louder than the presence ever was. There's a moment in every relationship when one person starts to drift away, not because they've stopped caring, but because they feel unseen. It happens slowly. A little less effort here, a little more distance there. The messages that once came quickly now come hours later. The laughter that once filled every conversation now fades into silence. But in those moments of fading attention, something dangerous happens. We start assuming that love will always wait for us. We believe that the other person will keep giving, keep showing up, keep forgiving. And maybe they do for a while. Until one day they don't. Until the person who used to chase your love stops trying. Until the man who used to fight for your attention finally chooses peace over pain. That's when the echo begins. At first, she won't notice it. She'll think you're just busy or distant or maybe even tired. But when your silence stretches longer than usual, she starts to wonder. She replays moments in her head. The last conversation, the last time you smiled, the last time she felt your warmth in her words. She'll scroll through old messages trying to find signs that she missed. She'll see your name online and hesitate to text. Pride holds her back, but regret starts to whisper. Because deep down, she knows something has shifted. You're no longer the man waiting for her attention. You've changed your energy, you've withdrawn your warmth. And now she's the one who feels the emptiness. You see, the thing about memories is that they don't fade evenly. The good ones stay longer when guilt is involved. When she remembers the way you cared, the way you listened when no one else did, the way you believed in her when she doubted herself, those memories start to hurt because they remind her of a version of herself that was loved deeply, maybe more than she deserved at that time. And that's what stings the most, realizing she had something rare and didn't value it. Realizing that while she was testing your patience, you were offering your heart. While she was questioning your worth, you were showing her loyalty. And now the roles have reversed. She's the one searching for what she once ignored. There's an H that only comes when you realize someone's absence hits harder than their presence ever did. When she hears your name in passing, her chest tightens. When someone mentions something you used to say, her mind drifts. She'll pretend she doesn't care, but late at night, she'll scroll through her gallery, pausing on the pictures she told herself she deleted. That's the thing about women. When they finally understand what they've lost, they don't always say it. They just feel it deeply, quietly, endlessly, because pride won't let her admit it, but her heart knows. Her silence becomes her punishment. And what hurts a woman the most when she doesn't value you isn't your departure. It's the realization that she became the reason you left, that the man who once adored her learned how to stop caring, that she pushed away someone who only wanted to love her right. She'll remember how patient you were, how many times you stayed after she tried to push you away, how many times you reached out when she stayed silent. And then she'll realize, no one else does that now. No one texts to check if she's okay. No one remembers how she takes her coffee. No one listens when she talks about her fears. Because not every man loves like that, and now she knows it. In the quiet hours, when the world is asleep and her phone stays still, she'll hear the echo of everything she once took for granted. The way you said her name, the way your voice softened when she was upset, the way you understood her moods without needing an explanation. And that's when it hits. The pain isn't about losing a man, it's about losing a safe place. The kind of peace she didn't recognize while she had it, because comfort feels ordinary until it's gone, and love feels eternal until it walks away. Sometimes life doesn't punish us with loss, it punishes us with realization. The realization that we were careless with something sacred, that we were loved deeply by someone who expected nothing but honesty. And when a woman reaches that point, when she finally sees the truth she ignored, that's when it hurts her the most. Not because you're gone, but because she knows she can't find you again. You've changed. You've healed. You've grown. And now, the version of you she once knew exists only in memory. She can replay it, but she can't relive it. And that echo is powerful. It follows her into every conversation, every new connection, every moment of loneliness. She compares every man to you, even if she denies it. She looks for your kindness in others, your stability, your understanding. But no one measures up, because no one can replace the feeling of being seen the way you saw her. That's the thing. When someone truly sees your soul, everyone else after feels temporary. She'll laugh again, she'll move on, but something in her will always be slightly unsettled, because the echo never fades completely. It stays not to haunt her, but to remind her of what she once had and what she didn't protect. And in that silence between her thoughts and her memories, she'll wish she could go back, not to change you, but to value you. To say thank you instead of staying silent, to hold on a little tighter instead of pushing you away. But time doesn't work like that. Once it's gone, it's gone. And all that remains is the echo of a love that was once pure, patient, and true, but forgotten too soon. Because in the end, the deepest pain doesn't come from heartbreak, it comes from regret. And when a woman finally realizes she had something extraordinary and didn't treasure it, that's when she truly feels the loss, not in her hands, not in her words, but in her soul, where the echo of your love still lingers, quietly reminding her that she once had a man who loved her in a way she might never find again.